What's going on, world? This is DS1 Ross. I'm back, family. Well, it's been a minute. Been under the weather, but I'm back, and I'm back to finish up the Black History Month series for 2017. Hope all y'all doing good. Shout out to everybody, you know, all the real ones, all the ones who genuinely support me. Shout out to y'all. But our number 9 freedom fighter, I'm gonna get right into it, is Nina Simone. Nina Simone, y'all. And Nina Simone is very, very important. Not only is she important because she was a freedom fighter, but she's a woman. That counts for something, you know, because a lot of times the women that play major parts in movements, too many times their names are not revered. So people like her, I gotta bring to the forefront, y'all. She's another example of Black excellence. So she's Black History Month worthy. And I'm going to just get into a little background of her. And then I'm going to give my dissertation from there. This is from Britannica.com. It says Nina Simone, Eunice Wayman, born February 21st, 1933, in Tryon, North Carolina. The American singer who created urgent emotional intensity by singing songs of love, protest, and Black empowerment in a dramatic style with a rough-edged voice. Originally noted as a jazz singer, she became a prominent voice of the 1960s civil rights with the recordings such as Mississippi Goddam and Old Jim Crow. Her best known composition was To Be Young, Gifted, and Black. So just with those few sentences, y'all can see the impact this woman made through her music. And, you know, today you don't really see that. So we got to understand, to all my musicians out there or all our entertainers out there, you know, stop cooning, man. You can actually do something good with your music and still be legendary, you know. Stop just selling out. I'm going to keep reading. She also recorded songs by rock and pop songwriters. A precocious child, she played piano and organ in girlhood. She became sensitive to racism when, at the age of 12, she gave a piano recital in a library where her parents had to stand in the back because they were Black. A student of classical music at the Juilliard School of Music in New York City, she began performing as a pianist. Her vocal career began in 1954 in Atlantic City, New Jersey, in an Atlantic City, New Jersey nightclub when the club owner threatened to fire her unless she sang too. Her first album featured her distinctive versions of jazz and cabaret standards, including I Loves You, Porgy, which became a 1959 hit. In the 1960s, she added protest songs, became a friend of Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X, and performed at the civil rights demonstrations. Grew Her popularity grew as she added folk and gospel selections as well as songs as Bee Gees, Bob Dylan, and Screaming Jay Hawkins. I Put a Spell on You to her repertoire. Angered by American racism, she left the United States in 1973 and lived in Barbados, Africa, and Europe for the rest of her life. Like her private life, her career was turbulent, and she gained a reputation for throwing on-stage tantrums, insulting inattentive audiences, and abruptly canceling concerts. A 1980s Chanel Vision television commercial that included her vocal "My Baby Just Cares for Me" helped introduce her to many new younger listeners. Despite ill health, she continued to tour and perform, and she maintained a devoted international following to the end. So as y'all can see, family, this woman was very, very serious when it came to her dealing with this white supremacist system. She was very, very serious, and she tried her best to change things through her music. This is why she jumped from genre to genre and made hits, because she wanted to cross into those markets so those white supremacist folks could hear her, so they can hear her message and maybe, you know, grow from it. We always like to say art imitates life, and it does. And as you can see, her art definitely imitated her life. And she used her celebrity to continue to push the envelope. You see, nowadays, a lot of these musicians, they're afraid to be socially conscious, to be politically conscious. And they're afraid to say it, to say that they are, because, you're dealing with promotion, marketing. And a lot of these marketing companies are not going to get behind people who, you know, who are socially or politically radical, you know? And as y'all can see over the years, this woman started having tantrums and fits because she wasn't being understood. Kind of sound like Kanye West today, you know? This brother is trying to make socio-political change through his music and through crossing other barriers and other things. That's why Kanye went into fashion, because he thought maybe he could get, the ears of those people. And this is why you have people like Nina Simone who crossed those different, crossed into those different genres of music so her message can be heard. And the more and more that she saw that people didn't really gravitate to that, it made her angry and it made her frustrated, And this is what happens when you're a freedom fighter. It's a very frustrating, thankless job. Nobody ever really thanks the people who stood out there so our kids could do at least the little shit that they do today, you know? And we haven't had real freedom fighters in a long time. This is why today you don't see any. And this is why today you see cities that are destroyed at the behest of white supremacy, because they locked all the freedom fighters up and locked them up as political prisoners. Or they died, or they went into exile and died. As we can see, Nina Simone was another one who got fed up and went into exile. That's what Garvey did. Because no matter how much they fought, how much they cried, no matter how much they sacrificed, they felt that nothing was going to change, you know? And when you decide to take that position of being a leader and being a black leader, you have to understand that this is what comes with it: stress, depression. You lose everything around you. You lose people around you. You know, you get death threats. You're unwelcomed in certain places. You know, so we have to really understand how white supremacy takes a toll on the people who are fighting for our freedom. And this is why we must get behind these people much in a much bigger number, man. This is why. Because it's people out here that been in what I call the nigger business for a long time. They've been in the business of helping black people, man. We have to start really appreciating those people, man, and really start supporting them. Because this is why Nina Simone was having tantrums and cursing people out, because she felt like nobody was listening. Nobody wanted to hear her. And she started out a pianist, playing the piano, sort of like Alicia Keys. She started out playing the piano. And now she's more on the activist side of the game. You see? So Nina Simone definitely deserves to be in the Black History Hall of Fame, because she didn't do what the average singer or entertainer would do today. And that's keep their mouth shut and just keep getting paid. You see? She stared white supremacy in the face and attacked it. Excuse me. But that's what she did. She didn't run from it like most of us, or just pretend like it's not there. A lot of us like to act like white supremacy don't exist no more by just ignoring it. And see, things like that really get ignored when you start getting money and when you start getting notoriety. People really stop paying attention to the issue at hand. But see, this woman experienced racism at 12 years old in school. She was in a talent show. They made her parents stand in the back of the class. You see? This is why we must teach our children what racism, white supremacy is, so they know what it is when they see it, and they know how to call it out, and they know how to operate within it. Because see, she had to learn that at 12 years old, that no matter how talented I am, I'm still black, and that they're not going to let you go to certain heights because of that. We have to understand that, family. You see, Jay-Z is up on a totem pole, but if you notice, them white supremacist Jews won't allow him to own anything by himself. It's not that Jay can't run nothing by himself. They won't allow you to, because they always want to keep tabs on you. That's why you must always do business with them. That's their way of keeping tabs on you. This is why Jay had to represent Hillary Clinton. You see? And back in Nina Simone times, the racism was much more overt. See, now it's covert now. But back in her days, it was more overt because, corporations and businesses really didn't get involved with the entertainment industry as of yet. So this is why her actions were more radical abruptly. She did a lot more speaking out and protesting and stuff like that. And she even did it on stage, cursed people out in the crowd. This woman was basically consumed with the pain of trying to make a difference in the world, man. You see? She sacrificed it all. She didn't care. She said, I'm going to use my talent to bring a message to the world. I'm not going to use my talent just to get paid from it. And there's nothing wrong with getting paid for your talent. They're going to always hire us for our expertise. So it's never about money. But look what this woman went through. This woman was excellent in her craft at a young age. And she experienced racism overtly. Your parents got to stand in the back. Ask yourself, family, what if that happened to you today? How would you respond? Because see, now racism is more covert. So they might not just tell you, oh, y'all gotta stand in the back. They might create a system where they set things up where all the black parents are in the back. Well, would you be able to point that out, or would that even matter to you? Because a lot of us think that when we speak about racism nowadays, we're using that as an excuse. No, there are no excuses in the white supremacist system. It is what it is. And no matter how intelligent you think you are, it's going to always be a pecking order. That's why within white supremacy, there's classism. You see? So we have to understand that using our skills, using our God-given talents should be used to uplift your people. It should not be used just to uplift yourself. You see? You and I makes the you and I verse. So we have to start to act accordingly to that. If you and I make up the universe, then what we must do is support one another on our endeavors. And when a person has an issue, the same person that you're supporting, when they have an issue, like Nina Simone should have had a lot of musicians supporting her and helping her and trying to coach her through things. See, this is what we got to start doing, family. We got to start supporting the people who's out there fighting for us actively. And that's even our musicians. So we got to start supporting them people. There's a lot of women right now that make uplifting music. So we have to start supporting them more, because what'll happen is, family, is now being that white supremacy is refined, what they'll do is our conscious entertainers, they'll start to whitewash them. Put them up in Hollywood, give them big opportunities to do big movies, which is nothing wrong with that. But what will happen is that the more trinkets a black person get from the system, they don't, what'll happen is that they don't want to lose those trinkets. I don't want, and those trinkets are opportunities. I don't want to lose not being able to be in the next movie. So I'm gonna refrain from saying certain shit. You see? And that type of shit has to stop. That type of acquiescing must stop, because our entertainers and sports people are the biggest voices in the black community, because we don't have real politicians. So our entertainers are our politicians, basically. They speak for us to the world, whether we want to admit that or not, but that's so. So we just have to get behind these people, man, because we don't need our strong freedom fighters to be running into exile, and especially our women. Beautiful sister, Nina Simone, young, gifted, and black. All our children should understand that that's who they are. Not young, gifted, and human, young, gifted, and black. And we have to take that stance and exemplify that, because that's what the freedom fighters exemplify. And I'm not saying that we got to go out and be entertainers or sports people. Excel in the area that you're good at. And then we will start to see change when people start to stand behind those people. So Nina Simone, y'all, another great black woman that's not taught to our children, mainly our black daughters. They look up to Nikki. You see? Nikki don't talk about being young, gifted, and black. She talk about being young, black, and rich. See, she don't even add the fact that she's gifted or she's black. You see? Black must be synonymous with rich, not gifted. You see? So teach our daughters and our sons about Nina Simone, because she's very important. She's a very important example to our sisters, but also to our brothers, because too many times when our brothers speak of revolutionaries or freedom fighters, we only could, name men. I don't hear too many people dropping women. This is why I went out and I searched for women also. And I made sure I included them in the series, family, because they're just important as us. So shout out to everybody in the chat. You know, good looking out. Thanks for bearing with me, man. Been real sick, man. I'll be back later to finish off my series. Y'all gonna be surprised on this one, family. So I'm gonna holler at y'all later. I'm gonna holler at y'all later. I'm gonna finish the series off. This is DS1 Ross. Stay tuned. Be back later, y'all. Peace.